Hello and welcome Fall 2019 Math Internet students. My name is Robert DiGiovanni. I'm the instructor for your Internet course. I actually am teaching Calculus 1, 2, and 3 online, and this orientation video is to serve all three courses. The courses are similar enough that I can just do one video and all the little details that make your classes different, I think you can work out on your own. So let me start by just giving you just a brief kind of summary of the way things are going to go here. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to go to a website called WebAssign, and you are going to enroll. You're going to pay for access to that website. It's going to be kind of like your cost of your textbook. And then once you gain access to that website, you'll be going to that other website to do your homework. So all the learning is supposed to take place almost like it would be in a traditional class where you're sitting there watching the instructor work through problems and talk about the topics. Only thing is you can't raise your hand, but you know, historically internet courses in math have been where basically what happens is an instructor will provide you a textbook online or something like that. You have to go read it and figure it out, and then you go and take tests. I'm trying to offer you as much supplemental resources as possible here. So the videos, although they are long, hours and hours of videos, if your plan is to learn the calculus, then I think this approach works best for most students. I guess what I'm getting at is there is a time and effort expectation that I have of you, and that is that you can commit at least 3.5 hours per week to just watching videos, and then an additional several hours to do your online homework. The amount of time it will take you to do your homework will depend a lot on whether or not you're in Cal 1, 2, or 3. But I would say, a good 2 to 5 hours extra on homework. So I'm asking you to be able to commit at least 6 to 8 hours maybe for this class per week. There's no real shortcuts here. I mean, well, there are shortcuts because there's ways to get the answers to the homework, and there's ways to beat the system and not learn anything and still get great grades on all your assignments that you do at home. However, you are still required to come on campus and take a face-to-face 2 exams. And those exams, I believe, are going to be worth close to 65% of your total grade. So, like I said, I mean, there are ways to get through the online stuff without watching my videos, without really learning much. But when you come on campus to take those 2 exams, that's going to be kind of the real test to see whether or not you've learned, right? So I hope that you will approach this course with that knowledge of my expectations and try not to find any shortcuts. A lot of times students will, after the first face-to-face exam, they'll tell me, oh, I really wasn't prepared. I'm not a good test taker, things like that. But a lot of times it's because they didn't put the real time and effort that's required. I mean, this is calculus online, so you've got to be able to do your part. Meet me at least halfway. I've provided you as much information as I can. You do your part, and I think you'll be okay. All right, so let's get into the class. First thing I'm going to do is show you our main portal. This is where we go to communicate. This is where I have all the information for you about the class. And this is at the Northwest Vista main page. You log into ACES. So you go to your ACES login. I'm assuming you know how to do this already. So I'm going to go ahead and log in here. And then I will go to my courses. They've actually updated this in the last few semesters, so this might look different to you, or maybe this is your first time. You go and select your semester and then your courses. So you can see here what I'm teaching. I'm going to go into my Cal 1 class, and like I said, the Cal 1, 2, and 3, y'all are all going to kind of look the same. So I'm going to go and take a look at the Cal 1 class. And let me just say this, there's one main difference between the Cal 1 and then the Cal 2 and 3. So the Cal 1, the big difference is in Cal 1, I have actually 2 sets of videos that you use to learn. I have these things called course videos, and then I have class lectures. The course videos you watch and those kind of, I run through like definitions and theorems and things like that, kind of get you introduced to the section. And then my class videos are videos of me actually doing a face-to-face class. And so in Cal 1, I have those 2 sets of videos. In Cal 2 and 3, it's just lecture videos. So there's no separate set of course videos. So that's kind of the main difference here when I go through this. Let me go ahead. Well, I'm not going to publish this yet. Let me show a student view. You know what? Let's get to the communication first. So this is the main page. Everyone's kind of going to look the same here, but over here you have an inbox. And this is where we do all of our official communication, right? So if you need to send me an email, if there's anything important that I need to know, it needs to happen here. Don't send me an email from your Yahoo account or Gmail account. Go in here, click on this to compose a new message, and then it'll bring up the class, and you select instructor and you send it to me. I think you can figure that out. And then your inbox is over here on the left-hand side. So all communication done through Canvas. If you send me something through your Yahoo, it's probably going to get spammed out. I'll never see it. So this is our official communication page here. So let me go back to the course. Let me see here. Yep, that's it. And I'm going to open up the student view so it looks, as much as what it's going to look like to you, because there's a lot of stuff here that's kind of in the way. All right, so you're in your course, you've got these tabs here, you've got the home, grades, syllabus, files, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to go down this middle part of this home page. First of all, you'll see a link here for the orientation video. That's the video you're watching now. That will have a link to it when you get to it, or when you're actually watching this. That will be a live link. And then you have your schedule. I'm going to go ahead and click on that right now. This is one of the most important documents for the entire semester. Go ahead and I would just print this out, put it in your binder. And this just shows you what you're going to be covering, so what the assignments are. So you have this first assignment and the second assignment, and then you're supposed to cover section 1.1 out of the book, and then section 1.2, 1.3, and then these are the dates that the homework assignments are due. So everything's clumped up together. You've got due date here, August 29th. That's when these 2 things are due. And then September 1st, you've got 2 more things due. And you just need to kind of lay this out, get a feel for when things are due. And, with time in calculus, we kind of try and cram a lot of information to a short period of time. So the pace may not always be the same. You may start to, in the beginning, it's, let's get our feet moving here. But as the course progresses, be prepared for it to speed up. And this calendar kind of gives you an idea of how that's going to work. So here you'll see where you have your first at-home exam, and then when your on-campus exam is, and blah, blah, blah. So I'll let you print that out. That'll be your reference. You'll use it all throughout the semester. So I'll just go ahead and close that now. And then you have formula sheets. So when you come on campus to take your exam 2 and exam 4, you're allowed to bring formula sheets. That link takes you to the things that you're allowed to bring. You have to print them out, you have to bring them, but I've provided them there for you. And then here are the course videos. Remember, in Cal 1 you have course videos and class videos. So if you click on course videos, it'll take you to YouTube, and you can watch the course videos. And these are the things that you would do beforehand. So remember, the calendar said for Cal 1 students they were going to cover Chapter 1, Section 1. So that student would come here and they would watch this video. And then after they watched that video, they would go to the class lecture videos. That's going to be a different playlist in YouTube, and there should be something here for 1.1. Yeah, so I covered 1.1 and 1.2 in one day, so they only really have to watch part of that right now. They'd watch the 1.1, and after they've watched those 2 videos, then they would go and try and do their homework. And I'll show you where that happens, but that's kind of the idea. You've got a schedule, you try and follow the sections, you go watch your videos, then you go do your homework. All right, so then I have also provided homework solutions. So there's the homework that you do on WebAssign. Those problems actually come from the textbook. They change the numbers and things like that, but the problems are basically the same. So I actually have videos of myself doing homework problems out of the book, and you can actually match up a problem that you're working on your WebAssign where you're doing your homework online. You can go watch, you can find the video of my homework solution where I'm working a problem similar to yours. So if you ever get stuck on a problem, please realize you have an entire library of homework solutions where I work them out, you know, line by line, step by step. So those are your main resources right here for the course. This binder partial credit, I'll get to that later. Down here, I also have some links to older videos. So if you ever feel like, you know, I just need to see maybe a different perspective on that, or that video wasn't quite enough, I have, you know, thousands of videos on YouTube, and they're broken up by classes. So you can go watch some other videos if you want. Those resources are optional. Okay, so let's get to the syllabus, and then I'll take you to where you're going to do your homework and all that stuff. So here's the syllabus. Like I said, you have to come on campus twice. I've already posted the days and the times and the locations. So all of these take place at Northwest Vista on campus. I would start making plans in your life to be there those 2 days. You know, sometimes life does get in the way, you know, your car breaks down, things like that. Those are things that I can consider, you know, when the time comes. But otherwise, like when it comes to like work or something like that, I'm giving you quite a bit of notice here. You've got roughly 2 months notice on the first, on exam 2, and you've got almost 4 months notice for exam 4. So please work with your employer, work with your life, try and work things around these days and times. You'll need at least 3 to 4 hours, so I don't anticipate you'd be done till about 1 o'clock on those days. If you live out of town, then there's a procedure that you can go through, and it says it all here. You have to secure a proctor. Follow the directions here, okay? You have to give me a proper notice. I'm going to follow this, so I expect you to read that if you live out of town. Otherwise, if you miss the exam, you don't show up, you're going to get a 0 on the test. Okay, so a little bit about myself and where I'm located in the building. So this is my information, contact information in terms of office location, things like that. I also provide you my cell phone number. So one of the most useful things that I have here is, I've got one of these phones that you can write on the screen. So what students have mostly done in the past, internet students, is they will be working on a problem, they'll get into some trouble, they can't figure out how to work it out. Maybe they work it out, they're just not getting the same answer the computer is. What you'll do is you'll take a picture of the problem, okay? So you have to assume that I'm not at home, I can't get to the problem, so I'm just like, out to dinner or something. And all of a sudden the student's gonna ask me for some help, right? So take a picture of the problem, then take a picture of your work, and just kind of let me know what it is you're struggling with. And what I can do is I can, you know, look at your work, circle some things that might be wrong, or I can just write out a quick little solution for you and send it back to you. So I don't mind you texting me at any point in time, 24 hours a day. If I don't answer, just don't, you know, I'm asleep, okay, whatever. But don't worry about bothering me, all right? This is, you know, being an internet instructor, part of my duty is to be available to you, and I'm telling you I'm available to you 24 hours a day. Now, you can call me also, but sometimes it's just easier to do the pictures and texting back and forth. If I have to explain something that's not easy to do that way, I'll just ask you to call me. All right, so what I do ask is the first time you ever text me, just make sure you include like who you are, what class you're in. All right, so that way when I'm going back and you text me another time, I can kind of scroll up and see who you were. If you need to get in touch with me on campus, I do have office hours. These are my office hours. Those are walk-in hours where you can just walk in, or those are times that I should be available just for you to walk in. I would say if you're going to be driving across town to come see me on my office hours, to at least text me or call me beforehand just to let me know you're coming, because sometimes I get asked to go substitute a class or do something like that, and I would hate for you to come all the way over to campus and I not be there. So, but that's when I should be there. Now, as far as what you need for the course, really the only thing you need after you've enrolled through, you know, the Northwest Vista registrar and stuff, is you have to be able to go to this website, WebAssign, and pay to get access to the electronic homework system and electronic textbook. When you do that, it's going to ask you for a code, and here's the code. Now, remember, I'm looking at the Cal 1 class, so if you're in Cal 2 or 3, your code is going to be different than this. Do not use this code. So you'll go and you'll enroll. I'll show you how that works in a second, but that's the only thing you need is that code, and then once you get in there, you'll be able to, you can pay right away, you can use a credit card, or if you're waiting to get paid or you're waiting for financial aid or something like that, you can do like an automatic like trial run. I think they give you like 13 or 14 days before you have to pay. So just make sure if you do that and you do the trial period, the grace period, that you pay before it ends, because if it expires, it causes all kinds of problems. Now, I do have a deadline for you. You must at least enroll yourself in that WebAssign by the 28th of August at 3 p.m. So you don't have to pay by then, but you need to go in there and put all your information in and register yourself. Once you've done that, you're good to go. Pay later if you want. If I don't see your name on that printout, that roster, you'll automatically be dropped from the class. All right? Now, even though you're going to pay to get access to this electronic system where you do your homework and have an electronic textbook, the course is based on a textbook. So if you're just one of those people who just have to have a textbook, then this is optional. You can go get this book. You're going to have to pay for it, additional cost to you. But if you just have to like have that book in your hands to feel like you're taking the class, then there it is. Now, you also must have a binder for the course. So you have to keep a binder. I don't, well, yeah, I do. Hold on. I actually don't have a math student's binder, but this is what I mean by a binder. Just go grab a 3-ring binder here. Let me make sure I'm recording. I feel for some reason like I'm not. Okay. So just go grab a 3-ring binder, and this is where you'll keep all your work. Nice, neat, organized. This right here, to me, the binder is an indication of your effort. All right, so I've seen binders that are just absolutely fantastic. I can easily open it, look at it, and know that this student has put in the time, the effort, and they're taking the class seriously. Then I've seen binders where it's actually kind of an insult to the student that gives it to me, that they put so little into this. This is how I kind of gauge you as a student. So I want you to have that binder organized. I expect to see every problem that you do for homework. It's not just sit here, point and click and use your calculator. I expect paper, pencil, you're writing down all your work. You don't necessarily need to write down the problems because they're online, but your work, you know, the math is going to happen with a paper and pencil. It's not going to happen in your head. It's not going to happen in a calculator. All right, so I want to see that handwritten work. Also, any exams that you do at home, handwritten work has to be there. Also, I put here handwritten notes. So while you're watching my lectures, take little notes. It doesn't have to be like you have 8 pages, 10 pages of notes for each lecture. Just a few of the things that you gain from that video, just put them down. It shows me that you actually took the time to watch the video as I expect you to, and put that in your binder. Now, I actually do have electronic notes pre-made for you in Canvas, and I'll show those to you in a little while, where it's basically covers what I'm going to cover in my videos. Don't just print out those hundreds of pages of notes and stick them in the binder. That's not your work, that's my work. I expect your handwritten notes, not mine, okay? So that doesn't count as notes. So those are the 3 things I want to see in the binder. If you click on this, this will just show you a little video of me going through and showing what a good binder looks like. Now, this is really important. If you don't have this handwritten work, the binder, if you don't ever give me that binder at the end of the semester, then anything that you've done at home on the computer, I'm going to just assume that you paid someone to do it for you, or that you had your best friend who's an engineer do all your math homework online. I need something that maintains the integrity of the course, that maintains the idea that you, the person who is registered, is doing this work. And the binder is my way of trying to maintain that credibility. So if you don't ever turn in any work to me and you've got all these great grades online, they're all zeros to me. So the binder, even though it's only turns out to be 5% of your grade, it's actually required. You have to have it or else you're going to fail the class. Okay, now in terms of technology and calculators, you can have a standard graphing calculator, scientific calculator. The only exception is that I do not allow you to use any calculators with computer algebra systems on them that can do derivatives and integration, things like that. So if you're unsure about whether or not you have the appropriate calculator, just call me, text me, email me, and we can talk about it. All right, now as far as the description of the course, this is going to be different for each class, Cal 1, 2, and 3. So I'll let you read through those. Let's just get to the grade. So standard grading scale, A, B, C, D, F. There's no incompletes here. There's no IPs here. I've got to give you one of those grades at the end. Now, how the grade is determined, like I said, your binder, you turn it in at the end. That's like a free 5 points. As long as you're keeping your work together and it's nice and organized, it's 5% of the grade. Although it must be turned in or you'll fail. Okay, so, and then everything you do at home in terms of the homework problems are 10% of your grade. And then there's 2 at-home exams. That's another 10% each. So if you tally this up, you've got 10, 20, 30, 35% of your grade is stuff that you basically do at home. The rest of it is what you do on exam 2 and 4. So these exam 2 and 4 are super high stakes exams. You can come in, take exam 2, do well, and you're going to put yourself in a really good position. You come into exam 2 and get a 20, you are going to be struggling to pass this class. So that's the way the grade is broken down. The next thing talks about like what to expect when you come to exam 2 and 4. This is a sample of something I've given. Please do not read this literally. In fact, it says it begins at 10. It doesn't begin at 10. This is an old document that I sent to students in a past semester. But it gives you an idea of what I asked them to bring, what they could or couldn't do. Now, this part here, how to succeed on exams 2 and 4. Okay, so, I mean, historically, exams 2 and 4 have been total backbreakers for students. And a lot of that is just, well, like I had said before, some students just aren't doing what I'm expecting them to do. But a lot of it is also just that testing anxiety. So every exam that I give you, every exam I give you is just me taking problems from the homework and making them into a test. So if you do your homework and you understand all of the homework problems, if you understand them, then you should be able to do well on the exams. But that takes time and practice for you to be able to look at a problem, recognize what it is you're supposed to do on the problem. So, recognition of the technique involved, and then to be able to execute the problem correctly. So the best way for you to get good at that is after you've completed a homework assignment, you can always go back to them and review them. You can actually redo them and it won't impact your grade. You can just keep practicing and just practice, practice, practice. And you just want to practice to the point where if you have your girlfriend, boyfriend, mom, dad, whatever, come in and just pick a problem out of your homework for you, say, hey, do that one right now, that you can do it. You have your formula sheets and you've got your brain and you got the problem. And if you can handle, majority of your homework problems like that, then you're going to be fine for the exams. If you become so dependent while you're doing your homework on looking at notes, looking at videos, going to Khan Academy, going to all these different resources online to get you through the homework problems, and that's how you do it, and you never actually learn it, then the exams 2 and 4 are just going to be nightmares for you. So practice, practice. I can't stress it enough. I hope that you have the time in your life to do this class because again, like I said, a lot of students that take internet math courses are doing it because they work full time. I don't know how to say this, in any nice way, but you working full time or having, all these other obligations does not mean that you don't have to reach the expectation of this course, which is to learn calculus, right? So if you feel after the first week or two like this is not, I just don't have the time, then just withdraw from the class. I think that's your best bet, because these courses aren't going to ease up. I mean, Cal 1, it gets a little harder. Cal 2 is just a hard class. Cal 3 is going to be a struggle. So I hope I'm making my point here. You got to work at this, okay? Now, things happen and you'll miss deadlines. Sometimes you'll miss deadlines, students will. So there is an automatic way in the system where if you miss a due date, that you can go in and request an extension. Now the thing on that is you get penalized, and it all says it here, you can read it. But just realize that extension will not be allowed until after the due date comes. So like, let's say there's an assignment that was due tonight at midnight. I can't request an extension at 11 p.m. I can only request the extension after it's past due. So if you're like, where can I request an extension? Where is it? Just wait till it's overdue and then go request the extension. I do not allow extensions on any of the exams. Exams 1 and 3 are the ones you do at home. If you need an extension on those, then you'll have to contact me. Exams 2 and 4 on campus, there are no extensions. So you're either going to be there and take it or you're not. Okay, attendance. This is an online class, so in terms of attendance, just make sure you're meeting your deadlines. If you're continually missing your deadlines, then I could drop you from the course. All right, the rest of this I'm just going to let you read through. There's a schedule here, but don't worry about the schedule. I already showed you where to print out your schedule. Okay, and that takes us through the syllabus. Now, let's just go back to the home page. Okay, we've looked at the syllabus. Grades, obviously that'll be where I post your grades. Now normally what I do is your grades are in that other website, WebAssign, and I leave them there until you take exams. So after exam 1, I'll bring all your grades over here. After exam 2, I'll bring all your grades. After exam 3, I'll bring all your grades. And exam 4, I'll bring all your grades. Now there is a grade book in WebAssign that you can see kind of how you're doing, but nothing is official till it gets here. Okay, so there are your grades, your syllabus. Now files, this is just another way to get to the materials for the course. If you click here, you'll have like your schedule that I already showed you, class notes. Remember I said that there are pre-made notes for the course. You can click there and you can print those out, or you can just kind of open them electronically as you're watching the video. You can follow along in the notes. And then the formulas, and then if there's any homework solutions or anything else, I put them in the file. So files is going to be different for each class, Cal 1, 2, and 3. So just make sure you look through there and see what I've provided you. There's a discussion board. Students are always asking me, like, how can I earn extra points in this class? When it comes to this online course, there's really only 2 ways to earn extra credit. One is to be on the discussion board, be actively participating, engaging other students in the class, asking questions, helping each other out, maybe forming study groups. Whatever it is, any activity you have there, any like constructive participation. You can't just be going in there just being like, hey, yay, you have to be doing something in there. If you do that, then I consider bonus points. Also, your binders. If your binders are just like exceptionally organized and I can tell you put so much time and effort into it, I'll consider giving you some bonus for that. Otherwise, there's no like last assignment that I'm going to give you, the week of the finals to try and boost your grade up. Like, no, it's discussions throughout the semester and it's a good binder, those 2 things. Also, I'll mention that during my lecture videos, keep in mind that those were taken, a few years ago, and that was me talking to a face-to-face class. So if I tell them like, hey, do this take-home quiz, or here's a bonus problem, I do not expect you to do that. However, if you actually do that, if I give them a take-home quiz and you can see the quiz on the video, or if I give them a bonus problem and you can see what the problem was, if you do those problems and submit them to me as an email, then I will give you bonus for that. Because that means not only are you watching the videos, but you're also going above and beyond and trying the bonus problems that I gave that class. Okay, people, this is just how you can access other students in the class, and you can email them if you want. Don't annoy each other. And then there's a survey, I guess, at the end of the semester. That's where you can take the survey for the course. Okay, I think we're through these tabs. Let's now go ahead and go to WebAssign. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the syllabus. And I'm going to go to WebAssign. And so remember, you had to have that code. So I'm going to click on this. Hopefully it takes me there. There we go. All right, so when you go to WebAssign, if you already have an account, you can just log in and then you just put in that code from the syllabus and you should be right in there. You may have to pay again, depends on if you took calculus before, if you use this book, it all depends, all right? And I would advise that if you're taking Cal 1 and you plan on taking Cal 2 and Cal 3 online, or even just Cal 1 and Cal 2 online, you're gonna do it at Northwest Vista, I recommend getting like the full-blown access so that it doesn't expire on you. It's going to cost you more, but if you're going to do a couple of courses, then it's worth it. Okay, so if this is your first time here, what you're going to do is you're going to go here and you're going to hit enter class key. And then at this point, okay, so I'm going to put in here Northwest Vista, and then I've got to put in those numbers. So I'm going to go back to the syllabus here. 7355. I don't think you can just copy and paste these because there's different little blocks there. 7537, 7537. So I'm going to enroll, and I'm just going to verify math 2413. That's calculus 1, section 32, Robert D. Giovanni, Northwest Vista. Yes, this is it. Again, remember, if you're in Cal 2 or 3, you have a different code. Okay, so at this point, you're either going to sign in or you're going to create a new account. If you create a new account, make sure that you use the same first name and the same last name as it appears on my roster. So whatever your official name is through Northwest Vista College, use that same first and last name here. Don't get fancy with any of that, because then your grades at the end may not come over properly. It can be a mess. So create your account. On your email, you can use a Yahoo email or anything you want here, or your alamo.edu email, whatever you like, but get registered. So I'm not going to take you any further than this. I'm just going to say at this point, you would go in there and you would pay or use the trial access until the deadline, a couple of, 2 weeks or something. All right, so let's now assume that you have done that. And let's sign in. Okay, so here I come. By the way, when you come for exam 2 and 4, make sure that you have your password for WebAssign. A lot of times students will do what I just did, where the computer is going to remember your password. Then they come on campus and they come to take the test and they don't remember their password, and it creates a problem. So make sure you bring it to exam 2 and 4. Okay, so let me get in here and let's go to Cal 1. We'll do that again. So let's go. Now this is not what it's going to look like for you. So I'm going to switch this over here. Okay, so I'm going to go to student view here. So this is what you would see when you come in. All right, so if you haven't used WebAssign in a while, there's kind of a different look to it. Okay, so this is it right here. We're in the section here. So you've got, right now it shows your assignments. There's nothing there, and that's just because the class hasn't started yet. Your assignments will appear here, and then you can get to the ebook over here. So if you want to actually open up the book, you can get to it here. And so because you can't see the assignments right now, I need to actually go in to a different class so that you can actually see that. So I've got this little dummy class somewhere. Where's my dummy class? Hopefully it's still open. Let me try student view. It might not be open anymore. Let me see. Okay, so right here it says past assignments, but it'll show your current assignments there. Okay, so here are the assignments. So you can see it says like extension 1.1, I mean, sorry, section 1.1, getting started. Here are all the assignments. So if I wanted to go do one of the assignments, I would just click on it. It's telling me my score over here. Oh, you know what? Okay, here it is. All right, so this assignment is past due because it's in the past. So I could request an extension right now. Or if I don't care about it, I'm going to take a 0. I can view the answer key, so that way I at least know what the answers are to this. So let me do this. Yeah, I can do this. So here's what the problems look like. You have a problem, then here's where you put your answers in. And there's a little tutorial that you'll watch that'll kind of get you used to the system. The big thing here is this. Don't get driven crazy by the system. Okay, if you do a problem, you feel like you're doing it right, and it keeps counting it wrong. Maybe you missed a comma or something like that. Don't get all crazy. Just let me know, send me an email, and I will fix it. All right, I will adjust your grade at some point. Just continue to move along. I've had students that, like, after the first homework assignment, I hate this system. Look, as long as you're understanding what you're doing, you know, we can work out the little syntax errors that the system has later on, and you'll get used to it. You'll pick it up. There's a learning curve to it, but you'll pick it up. So I wanted to go and show you. I'm going to go into let's go into one of these assignments for Calculus 1. So remember, you've watched the videos already on YouTube, right? And you're coming here to actually try and see if you learned anything. So I'm going to go to one of these assignments. Open it up. I don't want to view the key right now. It's slow. Okay, there we go. So some of the questions are multiple choice, some of the questions are fill in the blank, some of them are, you know, total free response, like here. Okay, you have to type in, you know, what is F plus G? So you'll have this little palette that'll pop up and symbols. So you put your answers in, and then you go to check your answer. I believe you can get it wrong like 4 or 5 times. So if you type in the wrong answer, it'll tell you you're wrong, and then you got like 4 or 5 tries. After that, it counts it wrong. So you get multiple tries at each problem. Like I said, there's a learning curve to this. I expect everyone's going to go through this and have some trouble, but you'll get used to it, all right? Also, very important, this thing that appears over here next to the problem, this is actually pretty important stuff. You'll see here it says like SESS Calc ET2, just ignore all that, where it says 1.2.043. That means that is coming from chapter 1 of the book, section 2, number 43 in the exercises. So if you were to open up the electronic version of the book to chapter 1, section 2, number 43, that problem should match up to this. And the reason why that's important is because remember I said that I'm providing you homework solution videos. When I'm doing those videos, I'll just put up on the board like, okay, I'm doing number 12 from 1.2. So what you would be looking for here is for my video where I do number 43. Okay, so that way you can not, you know, if there's just one problem that you're looking for, you can kind of scroll through the video on YouTube till you get to number 43, and then you can watch me do that problem. So if you're struggling, just realize that's why that this over here is pretty important in cross-referencing over to my YouTube videos. Okay, so when it comes to an exam that you do at home, oh, you know what I forgot to show you is that while you're working through a problem, you can ask for help. Why is it not allowing me to ask for help? I think I disabled, yeah, help. There we go. Okay, so here it says like, read it. So if you click that, it'll take you to the book. Some problems have a video that go with them. Now the video that goes with that, I didn't do. That was done by the publisher. So you can watch that video, and I believe you can get to a live tutor. Again, that's offered through the publisher, not through me. That's part of what the money you paid for to get in here is all about. There should be a live tutor that you can get help on that problem. So just realize that if you watch that video, if there is a video for it, because it was done by someone else, some of the language they use may be different, some of the techniques they use may be different. It may not exactly line up with the way I did it in my videos, but we should get to the same answer regardless. So those things will be there for you. When you do your exams at home and when you do your exams on campus, of course, you won't get to go get help, and also you only get two tries at each problem. So, all right. So I feel as if I'm forgetting something, which I think I am. So when you go back, or when you're in one of these times, I didn't see the Ask Instructor button. Let me see here. Didn't see it here. Okay, so after an assignment is past due, I think that's what it is. So I'm going to have to go to a different class to a past due assignment. So once an assignment is past due, sorry, bear with me. So when you go to a past due assignment like one of these, I already told you you could request an extension, but you can also have, there's a button here, stop moving. Where's the Ask Teacher? I don't know why it's not coming up. Where is it? Oh, there, it's over here on the right. I don't know why I thought it was down here. Over here on the right, there's an Ask Teacher button. So you can hit that at any point in time, and what it'll do is it'll send me a message. It'll send me a message or an email that will show me the problem, and it will also, let me know what it is that you need help with. So critically important right now. This Ask Teacher button, I want you to use it whenever you think you need something. Like, hey, the computer counted it wrong because I missed a comma, or hey, I don't understand what's going on here. What I do is these Ask Teacher things come to me, and they don't actually come to my email. They go to a separate email. It's complicated. I don't get those right away. It's not real time. So I don't get a notification that tells me a student needs help. So even though I want you to use that, if it's something that you absolutely need help with, like right away, text me, call me, email me, something like that. You can email me through Canvas, whatever it is. Imagine that anything you do here with this Ask Teacher button, imagine that I'm not going to get to that for like 2 weeks. Okay, I want you to think about it like that. It's just something that I will go and adjust grades later. It's not like the best way to get in touch with me. Now, I don't want to disable it because I still want you to be able to ask me questions, but if you need the real-time prompt feedback, phone or Canvas email, that's the way we're going to do it, okay? But just realize that that's there for you. Okay, I think that's it. So make sure I've got this right. Yeah. So okay, yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. I want to go back to I think mostly everything else you can figure out on your own. Just a quick kind of recap. You're going to come in here. You're going to get registered in WebAssign. Do that by Wednesday the 28th, 3 p.m. Pay whenever you want to pay, but make sure you do it before the deadline that they give you. Then print out that schedule, look at the first assignments, watch the videos for those sections in YouTube. After you watch those videos, go to WebAssign, try and do the problems. If you're having trouble, go to my homework solution videos, see if you can figure it out. If you can't figure it out, text me, call me. Make a discussion posting for the class. Hey, can anyone help me with this? And just work through the schedule. Make sure you meet your deadlines. When the exam comes, the exam The exams that you do online are timed. They're 3 hours. Everything else is just do them as you wish. Just make sure you reach the deadline. The exam 1 and 3, once you start them, you have 3 hours, and that's it. So, well, you know what? I think it might be 4. I'll double check. But so you kind of like make sure you're ready, have enough time, start the exam, and you finish it in one sitting. And then you just work through this, and then I'll see you at exam 2. We'll see how things are going. Remember, I'm always available to you. Call me if you have any questions, even after watching this video, if there's something that doesn't make sense to you. I really hope that we have a good semester. Sometimes flying around here. Hope we have a good semester. Like, remember, you know, I feel like I've done as much as I can to give you the materials. I hope you use them. I'm here for you. Yeah, let's have a good semester. Fall is always fun. So, and if you're on campus, if you're taking other classes, you know, come by and meet me. You know, I'm in my office during my office hours. If you can't meet those office hours, just, you know, email me or call me and see about scheduling an appointment. Maybe we can just sit down and, you know, I get to know you, you get to know me a little bit. It makes it a little more exciting for both of us if we have some sort of a relationship. All right, looking forward to the semester. Have a good one. See you down the road.